various ways. They can present the concept of fear to the general population, the people who are asleep, who you would refer to as the sheeple or whatever. And they can use fear to present to these people, which provides the excuses they need to put up surveillance cameras everywhere and have drones hovering over football games and things now, which they're talking about doing here in Australia now, folks. If you're someone who goes to the football games in Australia, the police are now going to have surveillance drones equipped with facial recognition hovering above the football stadiums to keep an eye on everybody, just to keep you safe. That's what all this is about. So, the people will accept that because of the fear that's given to them by the government, and the people who are awake will see the drones, and then they will live in fear of the surveillance state. So either way, the people are put into fear of the situation. And a lot of people are failing to look past that. And as I said earlier, because of this fear, they're failing to enjoy their life. They're actually missing out on their lives. And and this is happening to an extent anyway through people who aren't even in fear, simply because of how much people immerse themselves in the virtual world, which is not a real world. It's a virtual world. They're missing out on the real life and the real life experience because they're immersed in this virtual world experience, which is not real. And that's how they control you as well. And they do that also through fear. Because once people are completely dependent upon the virtual world, then it's the fear of being locked out of the virtual world, which makes them comply with what the government wants. So, you can see how fear is used through all of this. But like I said, through it all, if you can simply enjoy your life and not comply with this, just see it for the farce that it is. That's the incredibly amazing part about all of this, is that all of the rules and regulations that control us are simply a fiction. It's just an idea that somebody had, and we all choose to go along with it, and all we've got to do is stop going along with it and choose to do something else, choose to live our lives, choose to actually experience what it means to be a human. Getting up and going to these slave jobs and doing all these things that people do, we only do it because we're caught in that grind, we're caught on that wheel, and once you get on that wheel, it's very difficult to step off. And that's why, even sometimes when I look at this and some of the information that I bring to people and some of the suggestions that I offer to people on this show, sometimes I can look at it and think, well, what's the point, Max? It's just hopeless because people can never step off the wheel. They just can't bring themselves to do it, to step off this economic wheel that they're caught on, this economic system that they're caught on. And that's the freaky part. Looking at this, you've got to be realistic. I can offer all these spiritual perspectives that I can and all the, self-empowerment concepts that I can in the hope that it will help people and inspire people. But if they're not able to step off that economic wheel, then how do we address the situation from there? How do we change the world without really changing the system? And that's the thing. A lot of people are in fear of the government and they're in fear of what's coming, and they don't like the world to be the way it is. But at the same time, they're scared of anything else because it's better the devil you know, and they're scared to step off that treadmill, scared to step off that economic system and into reality because they need everybody else to do it with them. They don't want to step off the wheel and then just be left there and discarded on the side. And unfortunately, that's what happens to many people, and that's what will happen to many people. That's what would happen to the entire truth community if we all just stepped off the system. And even if they're 5 or 10% of the world's population, no matter how many we are, if we just step off the system and the other 90% are still on there, or they're going to drag us back in anyway, either that or would simply be discarded. So, it's a very, very tricky situation that we're in. And that's why you need to look at it kind of energetically and realize that a lot of what it's about is the energetic state that you're in, the energy that you hold. This is how I'm able to find my way through the system to the degree that I do, folks. It's how I'm able to live my life the way I do because I don't have any stake in the outcome of any of this. And I don't want for a lot. I don't want a lot of stuff. I don't need a lot of stuff. All I need is that which I need to survive. I don't need all the trappings that go with it. I don't need fancy houses and big front doors and fancy cars and designer shoes. I don't need any of this stuff. So, you find that the older you get and the more simple you live, the happier you are. The simpler you live, the less you find you actually need. Most of the stuff we've got is simply stuff that we bought because we thought it meant something, but we don't actually need any of it. That's another interesting thing. We seem to spend a lot of time in our lives going out of our way to collect stuff that we really don't need because we think it means something at the time. Then we get it and we go, well, isn't that great? Now I've got this, and it